Hey guys, what's up? It's your man Pete, and just wanted to give you guys an update on what's been going on here in the Toronto and GTA housing market, overall general sentiment. As the Toronto Real Estate Board just released their figures for the month of September, all the stats. It's fresh off the keyboards, guys, not the presses anymore. But essentially, sales volume has tanked by about 44% compared to September of last year, which is not really a great year to be measuring against, but hey, it is what it is. And the month of September was actually the second slowest month of activity in terms of housing transactions and sales, second only to the pitiful month we had in July of this year. And while this number is dramatic and it seems to spell doom and gloom for the entire real estate industry and market, there's obviously some other bigger numbers that we should look into and maybe dissect a little bit, and maybe I can give my interpretation and thoughts because we're working in the business every day. We'll get a bit more into all of that and maybe a little more right after this. Okay, and we're back. And so if we dig a little bit into the numbers, obviously the average sales numbers have been down. They were down for pretty much half the year. But then it started to sort of tick back up again, where it sort of reached a bottom. It reached a threshold. We're pretty much at the point now where sellers are pretty much saying, all right, that's enough. I'm not going to sell for anything less than this number. Otherwise, it's just not worth it anymore. And then, of course, you have buyers over here saying, look, the market's tanked, Holmes. Nobody's really buying homes anymore, Holmes. And so you should really look at my offer seriously, Holmes. But that's just not really the way the real estate market works here in Toronto. We have very solid buyers, people that can for the most part, hang on to their properties and wait for a better time to sell, to put it bluntly and frankly. But over the past 2-3 months, we've actually seen an improvement in price, really small, really minuscule changes. We're talking just a slight uptick of thousands of dollars, which pretty much suggests to me that the market is still trying to figure itself out. There's still a lot of uncertainty, but there is still transactions happening where people are trying to buy because they think that we've already reached the bottom, and they might be right. Although the sales prices have only gone up so small, at least we're not declining anymore, and we've been sitting sort of level at around $1.1 million as an average. That seems to be about right for where we need to be right now. And of course, we are all waiting pins and needles for the next rate hike announcement that's supposed to happen in about 2 weeks. I think all market makers are pretty much baked in that it's probably going to be a 50 basis point increase or maybe even a 75 basis point increase. We're probably not going to see another 100. I mean, it wouldn't be completely surprising, but I think at this point, with everything slowing down the way it has, especially in the housing market, I think probably 50 or 75 is probably going to be enough this time around. And I think a lot of people are starting to think that the worst is actually behind us now. But what I've been seeing over the last couple of weeks is that, definitely there's buyers out in the woodwork, and we're hearing in certain price points, in the 600, 700, 800,000 price point in the suburbs, they're still potentially getting crazy bidding offers, like 31 offers at a property. Shout out to Jordan that I met at Trip. But yeah, it just feels like, sort of it's a new start again. People are out looking around, there's lifestyle changes, people having babies, a lot of pregnant ladies out there right now. And so for those who are experienced and have been through this, who have been through paying this kind of interest rates at like 4, 5, 6, 7%, this doesn't really faze them. So some of these buyers, they're still a little bit shaky, a little bit uncertain. At least they know that the market can still function at those interest rate levels, as opposed to sort of the younger millennials and the Gen Z who've never seen this before and are probably freaking out. And so there are some people and some investors out there that are being very opportunistic, right? So yeah, you're definitely getting a better price for the properties that maybe would have sold for 1.3, 1.4, in the height or maybe more. Now you're able to get them for about 1.1 to 1.2, which is an exceptional deal. It's an exceptional value, because the main thing about Toronto real estate is that it's always about people battling it out, duking it out, trying to win the next property. And so this is kind of a very opportune time if people can sort of stomach the interest rates and kind of really understand what's going on in terms of supply and demand in Toronto here. But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that are trying to time the market. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people just waiting for the market to take off before they jump in. So that's fine. We know about the demand and we know where it's coming from, and we know pretty much, how it responds. So, it's really kind of like pick your poison, right? Like low interest rates and high bidding and competition and low supply, or we have higher interest rates, a little bit reduced demand. For a few months there, we had a lot of inventory, but now it seems to be sort of getting tight again. In certain neighborhoods, there's no homes for sale because the perception, especially from a seller's point of view, is it's not a good time. And so we do sort of walk a fine line of danger here where we're going to potentially have high interest rates, more buyers coming out into the market, and the supply is just not caught up to that. And that's sort of typically how a general cycle works when we start seeing properties, just take off and go up in value. I think it's probably going to take some time for all these interest rates to sort of, absorb and adjust. Things are happening a lot faster these days, I'll tell you that. It's not like how it was 10 years ago or 15 years ago when I started in the business. And so snap on your seatbelts, everyone. I think potentially it's going to be a wild ride. We will see more action again in the market. People are out looking. looking. They may not be putting in as many offers and there's not as many people competing for properties. But look, at the end of the day, people do need to buy homes here in Canada, here in Toronto and the GTA. We'll keep a close eye on October and November of this year, how it sort of finishes up the year, because that'll give us a good indication of how the year is going to start next year. So again, if you're out there and you're looking to buy something and financially you're not too strapped, you just need to find a place and you need to upgrade your place, sell your place, purchase a home. We can look at it, we can talk about it and see what's a good fit for you, especially if you're looking to upsize, sell your place, sell your condo, move into a house. Potentially you're buying a better house than you ever would have gotten. During the heights of the market, these properties, some of them were getting snatched up within hours, within a day, within 2 days. It's interesting where we are right now. Typically it's a great time, it's a great opportunity for people to try to pick up better properties simply because the market is correcting. Just trying to find some silver lining in all of this, which is that you can buy a better property than you would have before in the past. So yeah, you're paying more for interest rates. That's pretty much what it is. Everyone's just going to have to accept it for at least a couple of years here. But at the end of the day, Toronto just keeps on working, Toronto keeps on trucking, and properties will continue to change hands. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so our Google overlords can recommend these videos to other people that are just like you. So whether you're buying, whether you're selling, whether you want to rent out your property, give us a shout here. We'd be happy to help out, to offer you passionate, personal, and professional service. Bye for now. Then it sort of started ticking back up again. But then it started, where sellers are saying, all right, oops, yikes.